Hey, thanks for joining me. So the other day, TT Artisan reached out to me. They sent me an email wanting to know if I wanted to review some more of their lenses. They kind of gave me a choice of several, and I decided to choose this 40mm f2.8 macro lens from TT Artisan. And I guess I didn't really think that through. I had them send me a macro lens in the middle of kind of like the worst weather, snow, ice, it's freezing. It was like 5 degrees the other day. So I wasn't able to, obviously there's no flowers to photograph, there's nothing like that. So I set up some stuff here in my office and just photographed some different objects to, demonstrate the capabilities of the lens. And we'll look at some of those images in a few minutes, but the lens from TT Artisan really is an excellent lens. And it's got, it's had a lot of great reviews, and I can see why. Really enjoyed using it. And like I say, if you know me, if you've watched many of my videos, you know I really love shooting macro stuff. So this has been a lot of fun to work with. And I think it's, it's not autofocus, it's a manual lens. But a lot of times when I'm shooting macro, really the easy way to do it is to set your magnification and then just carefully move the camera back and forth. Use focus peaking or the magnifier to get your focus nailed. Take your picture. So the lack of autofocus on a macro lens really isn't as big of a deal as it might be for maybe some other uses. But anyway, really excellent lens. Had a lot of fun using it. I want to put it on the workbench here where you can see it up close, and we can kind of talk about the physical parts of it. And then I'll walk you through some of these images I shot, and you can kind of see what the lens is capable of. And anyway, well, let's get started. Let's take a look at this lens. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. So this is the box the lens came in, typical box from TT Artisan. Had instructions with it, and it's foam packing. Nothing crazy there. It is a nice presentation, nice box. This is the lens. Now, it looks fairly compact until you extend it all the way out to 1:1 magnification. And this does go all the way out to 1:1. You can see the designations here, the different magnifications. Typical TT Artisan, it comes with a screw-on lens cap. I know that irritates some people. It really doesn't bother me. This uses a 52mm filter thread, which is a very common size. So filters are easy to get. Lens hoods, of course you don't need a hood because this is so deep, but any kind of filters or accessories you want to put on the front of it are easy to get. And the lens, like I say, it does extend quite a ways. The reason macro lenses often do that is the ability to extend the lens that far requires some pretty long helical threads inside, and so a lot of what you're seeing here is required in order to be able to create that motion, that extension. Anyway, you'll notice on the footage scale that from infinity to like 6 feet is just a tiny motion. It's not much at all. So if you're using this to photograph things outdoors, or maybe shooting portraits with it, since this 40mm lens would be an 80mm equivalent on a micro 4/3, be a good portrait focal length. And if you shot wide open at f2.8, you'd be able to soften your backgrounds a bit, but your focus is going to be really kind of touchy because there's just not that much movement. And again, this is a macro lens, that's its primary use. So apertures are clicked, and they're, again, typical TT Artisan, they do click, but they're pretty subtle. If you were shooting video and you needed to roll past those, I think you could do it pretty effectively. But very nicely done. Metal mount, of course. TT Artisan makes some really beautifully made lenses. They do a really good job on the mechanics. This one is a little bit unique in that instead of having some kind of like checkered pattern or ribbing or something, this has little slots milled or grooves milled all the way around it. And at first glance, you look at this and you go, that's not really going to be very grippy. But when you actually use it, it works quite well. Your fingers kind of dig in, and you're able to turn this without any problem. One thing I will say about TT Artisan, and maybe they just need more more use and they'll loosen up. Their focus on most of their lenses, to me, is a little stiff. Like they could use a slightly lighter viscosity helical grease. That might make that a little bit easier. Again, over time, it's probably going to wear in and break in and get looser. So maybe it's okay they start that way. But that's just something I've kind of experienced with TT Artisan lenses. Is they're very smooth, but just a little bit more effort to turn them than I would expect. Still, beautifully made lens. It just really is a fantastic lens. So, again, 40mm focal length, pretty compact. There's been a lot of reviews on this lens. It is a fairly solid feeling lens. It's maybe a little on the heavy side. That doesn't really bother me on a camera. That little extra weight helps steady the camera when you're trying to hold it, steady when you're shooting macro. And one of the things I do like is this front lip on this. Works really good for holding my flash diffuser. And if you're shooting flash, then this keeps the diffuser from sliding off the front. So that's kind of handy. And the lens in general just is beautifully made. I don't think they could have made a really nicer made lens. If the screw-on metal lens cap bothers you, you can get on Amazon and buy a snap-in plastic cap for just a couple bucks. They're not expensive. So that, like I say, that doesn't bother me. To me, it's just kind of a sign of quality. They went to the extra effort to provide that machined metal cap. It's nicely engraved. I don't know. I kind of like them. I know some people really complain about them, but I think they're okay. Anyway, that's the lens. Let's look at some images. I'm going to walk you through some of these images. Like I say, I just kind of set some things up at home. There were a few pictures I did manage to get outside and take just to be able to show you some of the background blur, when you're focused up close and you've got subject behind, your area behind your subject. And so we'll take a look at those images and see what you think. Okay, let's take a look at some of these images. Now, like I say, the weather was just really horrible outside, and so I just kind of threw some things together and to take a look at here in my office. So, some of you may know, and if you don't, you're about to. I have another YouTube channel that's mainly tools and knives and stuff like. So I have quite a collection of pocket knives. So I grabbed a couple of those, and those are included in here. So this is a Case Peanut pocket knife. You notice that you can see the scratches and the polished detail. I'll zoom in just a little bit here. The quality of the image, and I focused right here where the case tang stamp is on the end of the blade, and it just really the image quality, the resolution is just really excellent. I just really have enjoyed using this lens. It just really delivers the goods. Here's an old Boker, what's called a Congress knife, pocket knife. This one probably dates from before World War II. It's a little bit old. But again, you can see just the great resolution. This lens would be great for, a matter of fact, I'm going to probably use it a lot for taking pictures of these pocket knives and stuff for the other channel. It really just does an excellent job. And being that it's micro 4/3, if you stop down a little bit, most of these pictures are shot at either 4, 5/6, or in between 4 and 5/6. And you still got good enough depth depth of field that you can cover, like the blade, which is a little lower than this medallion. Still, all of it's nicely in focus. It's really just a great combination. Yeah, there's another close-up of that logo. Again, you can see the wear, the polish marks on the metal, the pitting that's on this. It's been rusty at one time. It just really excellent image quality. Okay, it's an old EXA camera, and we're just kind of playing around with this too. You can, like on this screw head, you can see the machine marks on the screw head. And again, like machine marks below this little thumb lever. Really just amazing how good the image quality is on this lens. It almost feels like you could reach out and put a screwdriver in some of those little screws. They're just so clean and real looking. But the
the lens just performed a lot, actually, for the price, a lot better than I expected it would. This is that same EXA. The EXA camera is kind of interesting. It's the only camera I know with a like a 4-speed stick shift on it. But I focused on the number 50 here, or between 50. I guess it was 100, more up here. But you can see, you can see the texture in the metal. Everything's just nice and sharp. And things that are out of focus are very nice. They're not distracting. There's no double imaging or anything like that. Um, these are some watchmaking tools actually that I found in a plastic container thing that was at a thrift store, and I really don't work on watches, but I just thought they were too cool to pass up, and they were only a few bucks. And so some of these tools are kind of interesting. But again, the image quality that you can get from this lens is just extraordinary. Um, doing, like I say, product photography or any kind of detail photography, this lens is going to really work great. And again, the same kind of thing. The image quality is just really excellent. Um, to be able to render the kind of detail this does on those machined parts is really nice. This is an Audubon bird call. These are really annoying if you don't know how to use one properly, but you turn the metal part and hold onto the red wood part, and it makes bird calls. Really kind of cool once you learn how to use it. But again, I focused on this part of the metal, this round ring that's on the end of this. Just really excellent image quality. It the quality that this lens can deliver is really excellent. You notice this is not in the center of the image. This is getting closer to the corner, and yet still the image quality just really holds up. Okay, an old fishing pole. I like this. You can actually see the cracks in the lacquer over the windings. You can see I focused here, and the plane of focus crossed over this too. But you can see the pitting and the polish marks and such on the metal. Um, but these fine cracks in the lacquer, it just really was, and of course the windings, just really amazing how well it imaged some of that. If you get the focus set right on one of these, it just really will deliver. Um, I'm sure many of you could guess what this is: a soroban or a abacus. These are the little beads, little wooden beads, and you can see the grain of the wood, the texture, pieces of lint, just really well defined. Here you can kind of see the nature of the depth of field on a macro lens, but again, the ability to resolve these tiny details is really excellent. So okay, this is the backside of a dime. Um, a lot of people use macro lenses to photograph their coin collections and such, and if you do that with this lens, you're going to be able to get the image quality you need to be able to see the finest detail. It really just does a great job. And that's the whole thing of macro lenses. If a macro lens can't deliver excellent sharpness and resolve a lot of detail, then it really just, it's one of those cases where, you can say it's not that important for a lot of lenses to be super sharp, but a macro lens that's not sharp, most people just aren't going to find very interesting. Okay, one other thing to consider, all these images are handheld. A few of them with flash, but the majority of them taken with ambient light and sometimes some fairly slow shutter speeds. Um, the image stabilization on the Olympus EM5 Mark II did a great job, and this is a starting drill, and you can see how small it is compared to this dime, and yet it resolved all the grind marks on it. Just, again, this is one of those lenses that kind of really surprised me. This is believe it or not, as cold as it was outside, it was way below freezing. Trees are already starting to bud out, which is kind of crazy. But look, you can see the fine hair detail. It's not really probably hair, but fibers on this bud. But just the image detail that this lens can render is just stunning. Just really amazing. And this is what was a red leaf that had green turned red in the fall and then still hasn't fallen off and now is turning brown. Still got a lot of color in it though, but you know, if you zoom in and look, this is 100%. You can see the detail, almost leather-like kind of texture on this leaf as it's all dried out. Um, just again, the image quality, the resolution this lens has is just incredible. Well, anyway, that's all of the images. I hope, you know, looking at those, you can see that this lens can certainly deliver the goods. If you're looking for an affordable macro lens, this one definitely will fill the bill.
Well, there you go. The 40mm f2.8 macro lens from TT Artisan. I think it's really an exceptionally good lens. And again, when you're adapting APS-C lenses to micro four thirds, and you're not really adapting them, obviously the lens mount comes on it, but when you're using a lens that is capable of covering an APS-C sensor on a micro four thirds camera, you're cropping out a lot of the edges of the image that are, generally speaking, not as good. So what you're left with is the best part, the best capabilities that the lens has to deliver. So I think that's why a lot of these lenses that were originally designed for APS-C use really shine on micro four thirds, especially when it comes to edge performance. Anyway, it's the 40mm f2.8 macro lens from TT Artisan. It's really an excellent lens, and I'll put a link in the description down below if you'd like to purchase one. It's definitely worth consideration. If you're looking for a macro lens that's not going to break the bank, it's definitely one to look at.